We're talking the top five worst horror movie sequels ever to hit the airlines. I've got Scotty here back to talk about it. We got a couple disagreements here, but before we get into that, I want to know your worst horror movie sequels that you have. We have a list of five here for you. Do some minor league films. Go ahead and like that video, sub. Let's jump into it. So, Scotty, I'm gonna let you start off with the number five movie. Go for it. What's the fifth worst sequel of a horror movie ever to be made?
Fifth worst sequel is Three from Hell. Three from Hell is the direct sequel to Devil's Rejects. It stars Sherry Moon, which is Rob Zombie's wife. It's about the remaining three people from Devil's Rejects that were a part of the House of a Thousand Corpses that were just killing people, bringing them home, and they were basically thinking they were doing work for the devil. Three from Hell it starts off crazy because you remember the ending of Devil's Rejects, they got shot to pieces. I mean, they get shot by rifles, 45s, 40 caliber, 22s, 9 millimeters, and they're all in jail. The clown, a guy, Captain Spaulding, is getting the death penalty, and the other inmates escape. And they escape and go to the border. They go to Mexico. They cross the border, go to Mexico. And then when they get there, it's like the people there, the gangsters there, have chances to kill them. They want to kill them because they are crazy. They want to kill them. And out of like 50 of those gangsters there, they cannot kill them. And I was sitting there through this entire exchange of this movie. I said, there's no way they are not going to kill them. There's no way you're going to make me watch another movie of this because I'm going to have to watch it. And they do not kill them. And the way they don't kill them throughout this movie, it's terrible. It's almost like one of these things where I have you on your knees, sword to your neck. And I'm like, you know what? Give him a sword because we have to fight now. No, we have to fight. And then I die. It's one of those endings. I'm like, there's no way you went through this whole movie with this plan to kill these guys, and they're unkillable. I said at this point, if the devil's in this movie, because they work for the devil, apparently, they have supernatural powers. There's no way. The movie it's one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. I knew it had to be on the top five. It's terrible.
Well, definitely. If you're gonna kill somebody, you gotta give them a fighting chance, right? That's just only fair.
But this is my point, though. The rest of the movie, nobody's giving them a fighting chance. It's just like last 5 minutes. You know what? We're gonna give these guys a chance. And they're raggedy. These are the three raggediest villains, a family of villains I've ever seen. They're raggedy. They have no body armor. They have nothing going on. They don't even start out with decent weapons, and they just them living brought the movie score down like 2 points on here. This is like way off the rails. The first two were right on point. Three from Hell was way off the rails. Basically, Rob Zombie said, hey, I know we built the story in number 1 and 2, but how about we just say fuck it for a third one and just do whatever. That's what this movie is.
Oh, Rob Zombie is no stranger to doing whatever, as we've known for his other movies. But that sounds like it's solidly in the top five of worst horror movie sequels. So, number 4, I will lead this off, and this is a movie I have despised and have made multiple videos about. At number 4, Halloween Kills. So, I have to pay the floor for this. When you go to the theater and you have no expectations. You can see a bad movie and be like, all right, I didn't expect much. It's fine. Like, it's a movie. I can walk out. That is nowhere near as bad as walking into the movie theater with high expectations and you run into some complete nonsense. And that's exactly what this movie is. The first Halloween remake, we both think it's fantastic. One of the better ones, one of the better remakes I've seen probably ever as far as horror franchises rebooting them. I think it's a great movie. This one brings back Jamie Lee Curtis and crew. And like I said, people in this movie, so they basically get together and say, hey, we're going to hunt down Michael Myers. We're tired of him terrorizing this town. They get a bunch of people who have no business hunting down Michael Myers because they're all scared of him.
Yeah.
They're scared. They don't want to fight him. They don't want to bother him. And they just end up killing themselves and dying all in silly ways.
That was so disappointing. And the first time I watched it, I said, okay, this is decent because I was blinded because Halloween is my favorite horror franchise. So I like every Halloween movie that came out. And I watched it again when you told me it was bad. So let me watch it again. Maybe I missed something. I had to write down every scene I thought was bad. By the time I got down to the end of my paper, I was almost done there. I have never really gotten there before on horror movies. They spent an extended amount of time just having a plan and fucking it up. And the bad parenting was all over the place. Like the scene where the dude takes his son and his son's girlfriend to the Myers house, and then when he gets there, he's like, you know what? This wasn't a good idea. Stay in the car. What? Didn't make a phone call, didn't drive away and drive them somewhere safe. He said, no, just stay right here. I'm gonna go in there with this one gun. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it reminded me of a scene of a movie we'll talk about a little later, where somebody's in there. Don't call for no backup. Don't ask. It's like if he survived this long, clearly he survived by not letting one person go in there and get the slip on him and kill him. So what makes you any different being a normal citizen? I don't know, man. This movie's all over the place, and one of the worst parts is Jamie Lee Curtis, who is great all through this series, is barely in the movie. She's
Yeah,
at
what is
the
that?
hospital. She's basically sitting the movie out. That's a free check. I could have played that role. If you'd have gave me a white wig, you would have known the difference. Because
That
she's
was
barely in the movie.
that was the worst part because in the trailers you saw when they had it showed that she was gonna have some kind of confrontation at least. It was silly. Like, how do you take the main star out of the movie, but you have her in scenes that don't matter?
Yeah.
And also the ending where the daughter went to the window to look out the window and she saw something, and then when you look up, like basically you see like a ghost of Michael Myers. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be supernatural. I said, okay, I might be able to give this somewhat of a pass. And then you get to the next movie, it's like, nah, he just durable. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, the ending of that. Oh God, I don't know. I want to get into the ending of that and the next one, or just like it's like his powers have changed.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't. I hate this movie with a passion. But yeah, that submitly plants at number 4 on the list for worst horror movie sequels. At number 3 is a movie, man. This is probably one of my biggest not only disappointments, but also just disappointments in any actor that read the script and decided to actually show up. We have Texas Chainsaw 3D, which I have said a lot of times. This is probably maybe the worst of big budget horror movies that I've ever seen, where they've had every resource and completely fell through. Painting this. So why this is a sequel is because they said, you know what? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, we're throwing that out. All those other ones, this is a direct sequel where it takes place right after the first one. So where they film it
Oh
in.
my god.
So it's like we're going from here and from there. This movie makes no sense. They have the real Texas Chainsaw Massacre is what, in the 60s? They
Yeah.
have Alexandra Daddario playing a girl who was born in the 60s in like 2013 or it's like 2011, where you can
Yeah.
see dates and it's like she still looks like she's in college
Yeah.
along with college friends, Trey Songs and the squad.
I
So
think I think it's set later because remember the dude, the Texas Chainsaw dude who's been living there for all those years, and she's like a distant
yeah, she's like a distant cousin of
cousin.
his.
So she's only like 20 something.
What I'm saying, like from the original, the dates on there's a scene with a tombstone, and it has the dates of where the grandmother died, and it's like 2011. So she is firmly 50 years in it. Yeah, it makes no sense. She's firmly 50 years in the future. When they get back, you're still looking like a 20-year-old because we see her born in the first part of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to look.
yeah,
It makes zero
good
sense.
genes. It's just good. It's just good genes. That's
But
all.
this is one of those, and I'll say this for sequels. You're not a sequel if you can't stand on your own as a movie. When we talk about great sequels like an Alien or movies like that, those are completely separate from the beginning. And while they do have references to the past, those
Mm,
movies aren't reliant on things that have happened in the past to go. This movie straight up steals
yeah.
stuff from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the armadillo, the girl in the red skirt, like all these things, they straight up steal it and they do it in horrible ways. And like I said, the movie I referenced from Halloween last time, this one, where we have a cop who's like, oh, Leatherface ain't bulletproof. I'll
Yeah.
go in and kill Leatherface. It's like, you got a whole precinct looking at you. Where's the backup? Like, it's this movie, man. And oh, Trey Songs, one of the worst deaths I've ever seen in a horror movie. And,
Yeah.
I'm only pissed at him because he said, you know what? I know how black people get treated in horror movies. And I told the director we hash it out. Well, clearly you did not. They just upped your
He didn't.
paycheck because the way you died was horrific. But
That was the worst. They made a mockery of him on purpose. I think it's on purpose. They said, "Oh, you want to talk? How about this? Here's an extra couple grand. You're gonna die in a car that rolls over at 5 miles an hour."
5 miles an hour. Oh man, this movie so including one of the worst lines it is. I was talking about the end real quick. Alexander Daddario, of course, realizes that's her cousin and all that, and then her and Leatherface actually team up, which is already ridiculous. After he's been killed all her friends and family, but at that point, where the villains of the town are supposed to be worse than Leatherface, even though they're not massacring people, and delivers one of the great lines of "Do your thing, cuz." As he massacres the other people. I hate this movie, man. That's all I got to say about it.
That was I can't even watch it again. Because it's so bad.
I think I've seen that movie twice. Once to see how to realize how bad it was, and second time to be like, was it really that bad?
Yeah.
So that firmly plans on our list at number 3. Could go up, could go down, but we set it down right there. You have the number 2 movie with the boy too, so I'm gonna let you talk on that one.
Number 2, which I don't agree. I think this should be number 1. This is a miscarriage of justice. I just want y'all to know this is his decision, not mine. But because of y'all, matter of fact, let's talk to the audience real quick.
Yeah,
how do y'all have Brahms 2 higher than our first movie we're about to say? That's terrible. But anyway, you remember The Boy number 1, where it was about the kid had some issues as a child. Clearly, the parents are filthy rich. They didn't care about getting him any help. So they just let him grow up crazy after he killed a classmate and let him make the rules in the house.
Hold on. I'll say like one of the crazy things about the first one is you don't really know all this until things flip on their head. Remember, and if I'm correct, as it sets up, they just bring this babysitter and say, "Hey, I just want you to watch this doll. Like, you don't know what's up with the doll. We just know it's moving or it's doing like little weird supernatural stuff, but you don't know nothing until that movie flips on his head."
Yeah, once it gets to the middle and you start finding different clues, and the parents, it's some wild shit. Like the parents were clearly crazier than the kid was. But the kid's in the wall. At the end of the movie, they ended up stabbing him with like a fire poker or something. Then you see him at the end still breathing, doing whatever he's doing back in the basement room instead of being up in the house. The second movie, he is dead. Okay, he's dead. This is years later. It starts off with Katie Holmes and her son in a home invasion. Obviously, that's pretty scary. So they decide to move after their home invasion in the suburbs. They decide, let's move to this isolated mansion and we're just going to live with your father from now on. First mistake. Second mistake, the kid doesn't talk. Their kid is mute because he was so traumatized by the home invasion. So he starts to talk, but only talks to this doll he found in the woods that was buried. First of all, if I find a doll in the woods with my son, I'm going to take it, but I'm taking it to throw it away, not to give to my son. I'm rich. I can buy him any other doll or any other action figure. This is stupid. This kid has no hobbies throughout the movie. That's the second thing I have a problem. The kid has nothing to do. The kid has no video games. There's no TV. There's no kid stuff. I'm going to talk to this doll. Stuff starts to happen in the house that gets increasingly violent, and the kid blames the doll. The mother is like, okay, you know what? Nothing too violent has happened yet. So maybe y'all talk to a therapist and that they decide, oh, this is a good coping mechanism. He's actually talking. At least he's talking. Stupid. And then we go throughout this movie and the doll has apparently been talking to other people and telling them what to do. Grown men. They're not made to do anything. They just says, hey, man, go over there and whoop her ass for me. So it's literally stuff like that because there's nothing substantial this doll is telling any of the townspeople to do. And then we find out when they finally get rid of this doll, you have to get rid of. They have to break. You just have to break the doll to stop all this stuff from happening. Just a regular break. Just step on it. They break the doll. Everything's over. That quick, nothing happens. I can't deal with horror movies that are so simple from the very beginning and no one does it at all. And they wait for like 17 people to die. You just had to smash the doll's head. And then, there's a cliffhanger where, apparently the kid is still talking to himself because he finds a mask looks like it. Stupid. It's stupid. The whole movie is stupid. The doll has a demon inside of it. Well, why? Well, why is that? We don't know.
That's what demons do, man.
Just forget the whole first story, because I thought the guy had lived, because at the end of the first movie you saw him still, like, he's still there walking around. He has a wound, but I figured maybe he knows how to sew it up or something. But not now. We just have a soul of a demon in here, and he's trying to possess your kid, but not really, because he really just wants to tell your kid to do evil stuff. Darren, this is so stupid. This is a part of the movie where the kid is writing down rules, like in the first movie, the rules that the parents had for the babysitter. Yeah. And if that ain't a red flag to your kid writing down rules that you have to follow as the parent when he is 7, boy.
Not in my household.
Every step of that movie is it gets worse. And I don't know. I was sitting there like, it can't get worse than this. It can't get worse. It's only 10 minutes left. It can't get worse than that. And it would somehow always get worse. No. That deserves to be number 1. In my opinion, I'd put that number 1, but I'll give you the number 1.
Well, we had some debate about that. The Boy 2, at least firmly, is going to be in your top 2, no matter how you slice it. But certainly the worst sequel I've ever seen, an absolute cash grab catastrophe, is the actual newly about to be remade I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was a sequel to the 1997 original, and this one came out really quickly after. Was a cash grab. You bring back, the same pretty much cast, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah. I already said what's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar. No, yeah. Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's it. Sarah Michelle Gellar is also the original, but Jennifer Love Hewitt. You bring those two back. You basically say, hey, you're gonna go to college and get away from this stuff, and it continues to follow them. And this movie is so ridiculous because we've talked about this. The killer somehow survives from the first one, comes back and says, you know what? I'm gonna get back at these kids. You took my hand, you threw me in the river, all that stuff that happened. Like, I'm gonna get y'all because I'm not through with y'all yet. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna take my life savings and buy you a vacation. No, First I'm gonna take my life savings. I'm gonna send my son to college because he has to take college classes to get close to y'all. Then I'm gonna also go buy a radio station because I need you to play this trivia game where you also get the question wrong, but it doesn't matter. So I can send you on an all expense paid trip to a Caribbean island, and have you and 3 other friends stay for free. So no matter how much that costs, then I'm going to go to that island. I'm going to meet y'all there. While I'm there, I'm going to kill everybody else that has nothing to do with what happened in the first movie. Everyone else except y'all. And then when I get my chance to get to y'all, I'm going to screw it up. Yeah. Like the actual plot of this movie, when the killer could have killed them in so many, he could have just went to the college and killed them. Like, he's popping up at places. He could have called them an alley. They're college kids probably getting drunk, walking around, like so many chances. He said, no, I got this whole plan to put together, and follow me here as I go to this master plan where I reveal, oh, that's been my son the whole time, and I still can't kill you. Yeah, I think this is one of the worst cash grabs horror franchise sequels to ever. If it's not the worst, it's definitely one of the worst. And as far as a big budget movie, up there with Texas Chainsaw, as like you had every resource in the world. You had any ideas you could have came up with, and this is what you gave us for this. This is number 1 for me. It's not a question of ridiculousness.
It was so stupid. I'm like, because how did they know they were going to call into the radio at that time? Like at that specific time?
Yeah, the old radio station.
because I'm like, there's usually you get like at least dozens of calls to answer that question.
Yeah, random people. Hey, I'm trying. No, you can't play.
So they got through somehow, and then you send them basically where you used to live at, and then your son is perfectly fine. He's healthy. Like, in all honesty, the movie could have been solved like, hey, I'm that guy's son. That wasn't very nice what you did to me. I'm suing the shit out of y'all. You would get kicked out of college. He said, nah, me and the old man, we got a plan. We're going to spend $20,000, get y'all over here, and then we're going to kill y'all. We're not just y'all. We're going to kill the whole island. Because why not? We here.
Yeah, we're I forget his last name is one of the worst lines in this movie. His last name is Benson, the son. I forget his first name, but his last name is Benson. and like it actually stands for Ben's son because Ben is the killer from the first movie. He was like,
Yeah,
"You don't get it, Benson, Ben's son." It's like, who would get that?
I
What?
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd be like, what?
Oh my
I'd
god!
be like, did he change his name? Did something
Yeah,
happen
like,
here?
they're like, who is Ben? Oh, that guy that we like. No, man, it's such a horrific movie. It's such a horrific, and it's just funny because everybody in this movie pays the price except the kids who actually are causing the problem.
Yeah,
And like, I was mentioning the scene where he could kill these kids easily,
yeah.
but instead he wants to get them in tricky ways. Jennifer Love Hewitt is in a sauna. You'll probably see the scene where she's in the sauna, and instead of just opening it up and slashing her, he decides just to turn it up, lock it, and walk away
Yeah.
because she hasn't survived anything else. Why would she survive that? Like, no, that's not gonna kill her. I'm done.
I just can't believe that his son went through getting run over by a car, thrown off a cliff, basically, to and where rocks and stuff are, and he no bruises, no scar. He's like, for how did he survive and then find his father? And then his father decided this is what they're gonna do.
No,
I
the
don't.
father is the one from the first one. The son's just backing him up in this one. So the bad stuff happened to the father, and then the son is like, "Oh yeah, I'll team up with you and go kill these kids."
Wait, I thought the bad thing happened to the son
No,
first.
I happened to the father. Remember, that's why he
Oh,
comes in the rain jacket and all that.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but what's even worse? The new one also references another guy who gets hit by a car, thrown in the river, and I'm like, how many people in this town does this happen to? But that's another movie. We'll talk about that another time. So, recapping our top 5 worst horror movie sequels, put together in what order you want, but this is ours. Three from Hell at number 5, Halloween Kills at number 4, Texas Chainsaw 3D at number 3, The Boy 2 at number 2 or 1, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer at number 1 for me. Definitely the 5 worst. But if you have any that you feel like belongs in this list or is worse than those, or among your top 5 worst, please put it down in the comments. Make sure you like the video, sub, and all that. I like this, a lot of fun, so we'll come back and we'll do another list. If you have other ideas for lists we should do as far as movies and top 5s, because I have some disappointing superhero movies I could put in the top 5. I think that will be fun and some other stuff, but we'll do that. But Minor League Films, man, at all places, Instagram, Kuronocomics on TikTok. If you want to see shorts, all that good stuff will go there. But that's all I got. Scotty, got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, look forward to our next video on the best horror movie remix that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that will be fun. I have one that's really low key that I don't know if people will get, but we'll do that. Anyway, hit that like button, hit that sub, all that good stuff. We will catch you next time.